The Great Conjunction is an astrological phenomenon, a cycle, a predictor of things to come, and a curse. A great conjunction is the conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn with the Earth when the two planets appear closest together in the sky. These conjunctions occur every 19.859 years on average, when Jupiter overtakes Saturn in the sky due to the combined effect of Jupiter's approximate 11.9-year orbital period and Saturn's 29.5-year orbital period. The interval can be several months longer or shorter. The last great conjunction occurred May 20th, 2000. The next will occur on the 21st of December, 2020, when the two planets will be separated by 6 arc minutes in the sky. As omens, the great conjunctions have attracted considerable attention as celestial omens. During the late Middle Ages and the Renaissance, the great conjunctions were a topic broached by most astronomers of the period up to the times of Tycho Brahe and Kepler, by scholastic thinkers such as Roger Bacon and Pierre d'Ailly. And they are mentioned in popular and literary writings by authors such as Dante and Shakespeare. This interest is traced back to Europe and the translations from Arabian sources, most notably Al-Bumassar's book on conjunctions. As successive great conjunctions occur nearly 120 degrees apart, their appearance form a triangular pattern in the night sky. In a series, every third conjunction returns to the source after some 60 years. These returns are observed to be shifted by some 8 degrees relative to the fixed stars in the sky. So no more than 4 of them occur in the same zodiacal sign. Usually the conjunctions occur in one of the following triplicities, or trigons of the zodiacal constellation. Number 1, Aries, Sagittarius, and Leo. Number 2, Taurus, Capricorn, and Virgo. Number 3, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. And number 4, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. After about 220 years, the pattern shifts to the next trigon, and in about 900 years returns to the first trigon. What you're looking at is Kepler's trigon, a diagram of great conjunctions from Johannes Kepler's 1606 book, De Stella Nova. Nova much? Each triangular pattern astrologers have ascribed one from the series of 4 elements. Particular importance has been accorded to the occurrence of a great conjunction in a new trigon, which is bound to happen after some 240 years at most. Even greater importance was attributed to the beginning of a new cycle after all 4's trigons have been visited, something which happens every 900 years. Which you're living now. Now, despite the inaccuracies and some disagreement about the beginning of a cycle, the belief in the significance of such events generated a stream of publications which grew steadily up to the end of the 16th century. As the Great Conjunction of 1583 was the last in the watery trigon, it was widely supposed to herald apocalyptic changes. However, it did not. What does that mean for us? The great conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn. The dawn of a new era, perhaps? Well, on December 21st, 2020, the solar system's two gas giants will appear closer together in Earth's night sky than they have been since 1226. And many epic things have happened since then. And the time period from 1266 till recent, well, much of it has been in the dark. The Tecumseh Curse, sometimes known as the Curse of the Tippecanoe. There is a well-known astrological correspondence to the Tecumseh Curse, and it has everything to do with the Great Conjunction. There has always been a Jupiter-Saturn conjunction within a year or so of the 0 presidents being elected. These are presidents being elected on a year ending in 0. Until the discovery of Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto, Jupiter and Saturn were the two outermost planets, and so very much the significantors of world events and their cycles. When they conjoin, about every 20 years, a whole new cycle begins. Now Saturn, which is considered authority astrologically, and Jupiter, king of the gods, are both connected to leadership. So if this curse is and was real, it would not be surprising to find a correspondence to the Saturn-Jupiter cycle. That there is, in fact, a correspondence suggests that the curse is real. So what is the curse of the presidents, you may ask? Well, it's an undeniable fact that the 7 U.S. presidents elected in 1840, 1860, 1880, 1900, 1920, 1940, and 1960 all died in office. Some like to attribute this to a curse, the Tecumseh Curse. The holders of the office laid by the Shawnee chieftain Tecumseh, or possibly his brother Tenskwatawa, in revenge for the military defeat by future President William Henry Harrison in 1811. Is this true? Astrologers have used this set of facts to draw support for their beliefs, linking it with the conjunctions of Jupiter and Saturn, which occur at slightly less than 20-year intervals. You will find a particularly good explanation of this idea from a group called SANS, which published a follow-up article covering the astrological issues in Yo USA. Now, this is just a myth. And the last 2 presidents on grand conjunctions didn't die. And many attribute this to the fact that we've entered a water sign in a new era. I'll leave you links to this amazing PDF from the Astronomy Club of Asheville, a city I once lived in. The December 21st, 2020 Great Conjunction of Jupiter and Saturn, as well as a list of the great conjunctions from 1200 into the future. But I want to end on some scientific evidence to give you pause of grand solar minimas and the potential effects of the gas giants on affecting that change. These red circles are the 60-year grand conjunction cycles called the Great Conjunction, Earth aphelion location. And they directly correspond to the Atlantic multi-decadal oscillation, which has everything to do with weather in the northern hemisphere. And the Great Conjunction back here in the 1900 led to a rapid drop in temperature on the planet Earth for decades, leading up to the 1913 White Hurricane in New England. The Great Conjunction Earth aphelion location here in the late 1950s ended 2 decades of an ice age scare, which peaked in 1974. And just this week, we will experience the Great Conjunction Earth aphelion location on this winter solstice, which, based on all accounts of climatology, esoteric as they may be, in my opinion, will lead to a multi-decadal drop-off in temperature, which is the last thing this population on Earth needs. But we've been warning about it for 3 years, so you could be prepared. I've laid out the facts, and they're clear. This solstice kicks off decades of misery, climate change, crop failure, and a descent into colder realms. There might also be a spiritual awakening at the same time. December 21st, 2020 also corresponds to other time frames that may be equivalent to the Mayan calendar's new year. A flexure point in the Yuga cycle, an enlightening of the masses spontaneously. It's anyone's guess. And that's certainly a boom to knowledge. I hope you got something out of the video. We just have 3 days left until the biggest boom of our lives. Spiritually, literally, or figuratively, a few things are lining up. Our sun has a large northern coronal hole, which is going to be Earth-facing in the coming days. The planet itself is at a deficit for large earthquakes. And a planetary alignment unlike have seen since 1266 AD are about to occur. It's obvious that a large earthquake will occur in the coming days. It's very difficult to predict where that will happen. Don't be scared. Be prepared. And be safe. We love each and every one of you. Proper prior planning prevents piss-poor performance in the new paradigm. The new Earth. The age of Aquarius. We love each and every one of you. Please share this video with like-minded people. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. And be safe. We love you. And that's a boom to knowledge.